Hello, I'm Miles, and welcome to the Bite Size Marketing Podcast. This is an episode in a series that aims to make marketing easy to understand and simple for businesses of any size to implement. I hope you enjoy. TikTok, is this right for your business? Now, in the overall mix of social media platforms, TikTok isn't the biggest. Okay, I know. So the hierarchy in terms of users now is still Facebook out in front, followed by YouTube, followed by Instagram, and very swiftly followed behind by TikTok. In fifth place is LinkedIn, the platform that we're currently on. I think it's 800 million users on this platform. Quite staggering. Why haven't I got 800 million viewers on live today? I ask myself. Well, I have got the ones that count on, so hello to you all. Now, TikTok, even though we think of it, perhaps us older people think of it as a new-ish platform, it has actually been around since 2016. Taken a little while to grow its momentum. I do remember actually, it must have been 2016, 2017, I downloaded TikTok very soon after it came out. And what I found was it took up an enormous amount of data on my phone. It pretty much like maxed out my hard drive, the memory on my phone, within just recording a couple of videos with the filters. Now, I know they've got better at all that sort of stuff since then, but in the first instance, I wasn't enamored by TikTok and didn't pay it much attention. Following on from that, about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago actually, I did download TikTok and I got quite into it. And when I say I got quite into it, I was dragged down that rabbit hole of being consumed by scrolling. Like, it's absolutely endless. And the one thing I'm going to urge you all today is, if you haven't downloaded TikTok and you haven't actually had a look on the platform, I urge you to do it. Okay, set aside the rest of your life because and I've got some fascinating stats on usage, but there's something for everybody. But I think right from the very start, what I'm going to say here is this: it's an entertainment platform using video as the format, right? And as we sort of go through today's session, I'm hopefully going to build a picture for you to decide whether or not it is the right platform for you. And I'm going to those that are on here now, I'm going to make a statement, quite a big statement right now. Is TikTok right for you? Probably not. Okay. For the vast majority of people watching this, TikTok is not a platform that is right for you. Now, that's not because your target market aren't on there. That's not because you won't be able to get business on it. The main reason why TikTok's not right for the majority of my viewers is that you have not got the budget or the patience and the tenacity to keep producing video content that's engaging. Okay, in order to be on this platform and to be engaging your viewers, you need to produce a lot of content, and you need to produce content that is going to be engaging and, more than anything, entertaining. All right, just rocking up like I'm doing now, right? Just rocking up and me sort of spreading the word about marketing and whether TikTok's right for you. No one gives a shit. It's not entertaining, right? So in order for you to get purchase on TikTok, you need to make sure that you are going to be committed to creating content in abundance and for longevity, right? It will take a long time for people to find you and start to engage with you and build your little community. All right. So I'm going to go out there right now. I'm going to say that TikTok probably isn't the right platform for everybody, but I'm going to give you some data and maybe you can make up your own minds. Right, let's give you some stats. These are stats that are based from the 23rd of the 2nd, 2023. So really quite topical and up to date. So in terms of the monthly active viewers, I mean, maybe you want to write some of this down, right? Monthly active users, monthly active users, 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion active on this platform every month. The total number of downloads in 2022 was 672 million videos downloaded. In terms of consumer spending, so the amount of money people are spending on the platform, you know, there's a big trend. TikTok made me buy this. If you don't know what TikTok leggings are, then where have you been all your life? Google that one. In Q4 of 2022, $6 billion. All right, that's how much people spent in Q4 on TikTok, mainly on leggings. There are some really funny widgets on TikTok. Yeah, again, another reason to download. And how much is TikTok worth as a company? Well, it's worth $75 billion. $1 billion. I feel like Austin Powers farter there. Right, so those are some of the big sort of stats. In terms of the demographics, what we're looking at here is it's slightly tilted towards females, 54% women, 46% men. There weren't any other stats available, if you like, in terms of what other people identify with, but those are the stats that were available. We're talking about quite a sort of a decent mix of the sort of the younger generation, and I'll talk about some specific age brackets now. And again, this is all to give you an idea as to whether or not your target market are actually on here. And I think you'll be surprised about how much of an even split across the ages the percentages are. So 25% of users are between 10 and 19. All right, so describe them as, you know, they're sort of the younger generation. 22% are between 20 and 29. 22% are between 30 and 39. So 44% of users are between 20 and 40. That's quite a big number, right? 20% of the users are between 40 and 49. So 64% of users are between 20 and 49. Okay, so we might think of it as being a young demographic, but actually only 25% are between 10 and 20 and 10 and 19. All right, over 60% are between 20 and 49, with only 11% of users being 50 plus in my particular age bracket. And Denny says, we're probably the wrong generation to get our fingers on the pulse of TikTok. Well, look, these stats will say that actually, I mean, Danny's not in my generation, but, you know, your peers are on there. Okay, so, you know, let's think about that again. 25% of users are between 10 and 19, and then over 64% of users are between 20 and 49. All right, so let's let that sink in. I've got some fun facts for you here about TikTok. Right, well, this is an average, so this means that there are people on there for a lot longer. The average usage is 95 minutes a day. Now, I can tell you that when you get scrolling, when you get onto a trend, those 95 minutes can turn into 195 minutes very, very easily. That's a long time. That is a long time to be on a social media platform. So it's very sticky. The average user opens TikTok 19 times a day. 19 times a day. The vast majority of views come from the dance category. And the most followed user is an American lady called Charlie D'Amelio, right? She has got 141 million followers. She's an 18-year-old ex-dancer, American dancer. 141 million followers, right? Just goes to show how popular the dance routines are on there. And I also found out in my research that last year she earned $105,000 just on TikTok. Now, here's an interesting stack. We know that TikTok is owned by a Chinese parent company, but did you know that TikTok's actually banned in China? Yeah, it's banned in 5 countries in total, including India and Afghanistan. Fun. These are fun, aren't they? Fun facts. Right. So let's talk about engagement, because really what we want to do with our social media strategy is we want to encourage engagement. All right. Now, it's one thing to raise awareness of your company within your target market, and it's a whole nother thing to get engagement. Like I've got engagement today with Danny, right? Asking questions, we're conversing, we're building relationships. Okay. So in terms of engagement, and this is from a 2021 survey on the Influence Marketing Hub, they found that micro influencers, right? So these are people that don't have millions of followers. These are people that have, thousands of followers, basically normal people, right? That have managed to get a following within their niche. These micro influencers, they had 17.96% engagement on their posts. Now, compare that with Instagram at only 3.86 and YouTube at 1.63. It's an enormous increase in engagement. And the metrics for that was like, comment, shares divided by number of views. Okay, so it was fair across the number of platforms. So this is enormous. And what I found when I was scrolling through TikTok is that, and I will talk about the sort of the subcategories in a second, but there are these subcategories, subcultures within the app themselves, and there's this whole sort of community, and the community supports each other and they engage with each other. And fellow creators, they engage with other creators, and they do collabs, and they do duets, and they do stitching, and we'll come on to what those things are in a second. But what I want you to think about within, like, is TikTok right for your business, is, are you able to find, I don't like the word niche, right? But are you able to find that area of TikTok which will be talking about your business and sharing and helping and encouraging you? Yeah. Some huge engagement figures there. So when we talk about finding your niche, the main categories, right, within TikTok are of such. Entertainment is by far the largest category. So videos that fall within the entertainment category, there's over 500 million videos that fall there, right? Then less than half of that is within subcategories. So there was 200 million specific, and these are using hashtags, right? Using the dance category. Then half of that again are based on pranks. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these subjects you wouldn't have thought. I mean, I'd have thought like makeup tutorials were right up there as something, maybe fashion was right up there, but they're not. So number one, entertainment. It's an entertainment platform, right? I can't stress that enough. You go on there to be entertained. Then the dance section, then pranks with 100 million views. Then we've got fitness and sport, home renovations and DIY, beauty and skincare, and fashion. They were all in a very similar sort of level of category with about 70 million videos. on that category. And then we've got another little cluster of cooking. We've got life hacks or advice, and we've got pets. They came in at about 30 million. And then there was the outdoor section. And again, that was very low. That was about sort of 10 million. One important thing on there, I think, is that there's no professional section. There's no business category, or certainly not one that features at all. I suppose maybe life hacks and advice. I mean, I suppose if your business is in beauty or fashion, or maybe in DIY or, building and that kind of stuff. But, the majority of it is about entertainment. So this is one of the things you need to think about when it comes to going on TikTok. Like, you need to be providing first and foremost entertainment. And let me use a couple of examples. So there are a number of very, very successful TikTokers, and all they do is report on their jobs, right? So there's one particular guy who is a snagging expert. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but they're a snagging expert, and they go around to new build houses and they comment on the very poor craftsmanship that has happened in the creation of these houses. Now, this guy happens to be Welsh. He's got a very thick Welsh accent, and that seems to make it a bit more comical for whatever reason. It's like I say, it's entertainment. So you watch his videos and he's like, oh, look at that drain pipe, it's shocking. Look at the way they pointed these bricks. Like, what was that guy thinking? Did the electrician, did he actually show up today? Sorry for my poor Welsh accent. It's been a long time since I've spoken in my native accent. But look, my point being is that this person is a snagger for new builds. And all he's doing is documenting what he does on a daily basis and putting that sort of comedic slant on it, right? That entertains people. So people aren't watching it thinking, oh, do you know what? I need a guy to come along and snag my my new build, right? They're watching it for entertainment purposes. And that's the point. So maybe, is Miles secretly Welsh? Yeah, Miles is not secretly Welsh. Miles is Welsh. I mean, that's a fact. Boyle. But let's not talk about rugby. So what? There are there's a pool cleaner, right? Here's another one, right? I'm going back into my mind palace now about what I used to watch on TikTok. But pool cleaning. I mean, this guy used to rock up. The pool would be absolutely disgusting. He'd put some chemicals in it. He'd vacuum it all out, clean it all up, fill it up, and it would be pristine again. Now, on the face of how I just described that, that's quite boring. But the way in which they portray it, it became very entertaining. And befores and afters, if you're an industrial cleaner, perhaps a cleaning service where you show how dirty something is and then show how clean something is, or you give some hacks as to how you do it. There are plenty of different ways in which you can take a normal business and turn it into being entertaining. But I would suggest if you are, say, an accountancy, well, you're going to have to work a lot harder to make that entertaining, right? Or maybe not. Okay, let's move on. So in terms of like the subcategories within TikTok and how you can engage with them, let's talk about sort of what's hot. And the main thing here is, about going viral. Everyone wants to go viral. Now, my biggest tip for you here is please do not try and go viral, because the one thing that stops people from going viral is people trying to go viral, right? You can't control going viral, all right? The internet does that for you, okay? It's your viewers that make you go viral. You just have to create great, engaging content. But you can jump on the back of other challenges. I think they're referred to as hashtag challenges, because you can follow specific hashtags. And when you create your content, you add that hashtag in and it'll get added to the big long string of other videos that are within that genre or that niche. So I think the big one that we all did a number of years ago was the ice bucket challenge, wasn't it? Right? There was the ice bucket challenge, but there's been like Haribo challenges. There's been fake travel challenges. There's loads of them, right? A lot of them were very much dance based. And some of the fun in it was watching people that couldn't dance trying to do these dances. So I think, think about, if you're going to consider this, think about the content creation, think about how you're going to engage and do yourself a plan. So, at the moment, I looked up what are the latest TikTok challenges, and the biggest hashtag at the moment is couple goals, with 251 billion hashtags related to couples goals. Now, do you know what I'm going to say to you here is you may well record something which is along the hashtag of couples goals, stick it in, and then it gets picked up and it gets blown up because it is entertaining. However, you're having to compete with 251 other videos that contain the same hashtag. So to get some traction when you first start off on TikTok, I would suggest that you do a mixture of following, creating content which is in line with some of the big hashtags, and then creating content which is aligned with other stuff that you do. Soccer, LGBT, all of those sort of things are popular hashtags at the moment. But you can look at doing other things. So there's something called a duet. Now, we all know what a duet is. It's when two people do something together. But what you can do is you can grab hold of a video that somebody has already posted, and you can post your own version side by side of that, or you can turn it into a reaction video or whatever you want to do. But you can repurpose other people's videos. Some people have created their whole accounts around duetting on other people's videos, right? Very clever. Good way of creating all that content that you need. So that's a nice way to collaborate. You can do reaction videos. So you can play something which is potentially quite shocking, and you can record your reaction to watching that for the very first time. I know that when I say that out loud, that sounds ridiculous, but it is a thing, and people like watching it. You can also do something called stitching or stitch. And this is where you take someone else's video and, as the name would suggest, you stitch your video onto it, either before, after, or during. So you take someone else's content and you mix up your own content with that. And where I've seen this work is where they use a famous video and then people add their own spin to that. And again, by using those hashtags, it will get found by other people. People will think they're watching the original one, and then you burst into action doing whatever it is that you do on the back of it. Yep. So that can be sort of quite fun, putting your own spin on things. Other things on the platform, there's obviously live streaming these days. You can add loads of sounds. You can add voiceover. You can add text. You can add animations, filters. Filters are really big on there as well. You can have a lot of fun with different filters and effects. But look, what I'm going to say to you is this: as much as they can be fun, like if you're going to be on TikTok, have some purpose about it. Yeah, think about how you're going to create that content. Don't just create it willy-nilly, especially if it's for business. Think about like how you're going to entertain, how you're going to engage, and like what's the point? What are you doing? Yeah. Right, so just looking like we've got Anna who's laughing. She did the laughy face. One of the first challenges was the cinnamon challenge, yeah, and then the ice bucket challenge. I mean, I think we're all quite au fait with the different sort of big viral challenges that go on, but there are loads there in terms of subcultures that you can get involved with. The remix of stitching, it does make for an interesting perspective on IP. Yeah, look, talking about intellectual property, this is definitely a case of you post something on there and it's in the terms and conditions, You are giving away your rights, if you like, to the ownership of that. And you are allowing anybody and everybody on the platform to A, save that to their device, and B, to repurpose it for their own gain, right? So let's say that Danny has created the most amazing video of him brushing his hair in the mirror to the soundtrack of Je T'aime, and it's gone viral, right? But Danny's posted it on TikTok. Now, other people can take that and run with it and turn that into their own money, and Danny doesn't get a penny, right? So again, think about what you post and whether or not you want to be precious about it. So is TikTok right for you? This is the question that you've come on to hear today. Well, in terms of target markets, we're talking about, Gen X, 20% of users are Gen X, Gen Y, 20% of users Gen Y, but Gen Z, that's sort of from 1995 onwards, they really are the big users of the platform, and they're the ones that have grown up with tablets in their hand. They are so au fait with social media, with technology in general. If you sell a product or service and you want to engage with them, then absolutely this is the right platform for you, in conjunction with a wider social media presence and some thought in terms of your campaign, in terms of your broader marketing. So, think about the entertainment factor, think about content creation, think about your niche. Think about the platform, because guess what? It's a money-making exercise for TikTok, right? If you set up an account, you are going to get very little reach. I'm sorry to say this, even if you are Danny and, you have a big following anyway, you are going to struggle to build tens of thousands of connections. So you will have to pay to play. So within your marketing budget, not only do you need to set money to one side for the creation of content, but also for the marketing of that content on and boosting it on the platform. So to make any business successful on, let's face it, any social media platform, you need to be throwing a little bit of money at it to get the platform to promote your stuff, right? Otherwise, it's promoting everyone else's stuff that pays the money. Think about the relevance, right? Think about what I'd say here is, like, let's say that you got 5 million followers all in America, right? And you are somebody who lays bricks in the Midlands. Well, it's pointless, isn't it? Right? Because they're never gonna hire you to lay their bricks because they're in a different country. So think about the relevance of it, and that's where I think sort of really thinking about your local market and whether or not this is right for you. I'm going to wheel this out again. The question I'm asking you is, can you create enough content? Like, I deal with some of my customers and they can't even do a LinkedIn post once a month, all right? Let alone once a week, dare I say it, twice a week, dare I say it, every day, creating content on TikTok, right? This is a machine that needs content, and the more content you produce, the more chance you have of getting traction. So it's not for the faint-hearted, right? If you're going to commit TikTok as a social platform for you, you are going to have to go all in. Don't do it half-hearted, because you'll be saying, "Oh, it didn't work for us, Miles," because you posted once a month for 3 months. You didn't really have a plan. You didn't use the hashtags properly. You didn't collaborate. You didn't engage with the people that did comment and like. Okay. Consider it as part of a wider plan. Okay. Very few of our businesses will just have our target market on TikTok. Some of us will, right? But most of us won't. Most of us will have our customers on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe a B2B will just have them on LinkedIn. Think about where they are. So, have I come to the end? I think I have. Is it right for you? The answer for the majority of you is no. Do I think you should download it now and have a look at it? Yes, because it's part of popular culture. I think it's good entertainment. But for me, quite frankly, I had to delete it off my phone because I was just spending my life scrolling through it. And the more you look at, the algorithm's really quite clever. The longer you look at something, so this is what I'm going to say to you all out there. The longer you look at something, football, right, the more the algorithm will keep showing you football. So I'm just going to leave that there, right? So if you choose to watch something in particular, don't be surprised if the algorithm keeps showing you those particulars more often. Right. Look, I hope you find that useful. Think about budget. Think about commitment. Don't do it lightheartedly. And I'm going to say that about all social media platforms, right? If you're going to do it, if you're going to do social media, like do one and hit one hard and do it properly and post week after week, month after month, year after year, and really get that momentum going. So yeah, Danny, yeah, easy PF. You're absolutely right. That's where that came from. Didn't the energy drink Prime build its entire marketing account? Yeah, look, but what a commitment. What a commitment to just focus on one particular, their target market, right? It's an energy drink. So, all those sort of Gen Zers there, their prime target for this particular energy drink. So, of course, they're going to be able to build their entire market on LinkedIn, of course. Would you say content is redundant without engagement, or can content alone be the key? I think, look, it's an entertainment platform. So the primary goal of your content creation has got to be to entertain. And secondly, there's got to be a sub message, and then you go to the engagement. For me, the engagement is around building that community and what people write in the comments. That's the key to it. I don't see, your creation of the TikTok, the video itself, like that doesn't have the engagement, if that makes sense. You're there to entertain. You're there to stop people with their scroll, and then they'll make a meaningful comment and want to join in with your community, and they'll follow you, right? So, Denny's question, is it redundant without engagement? It's not redundant, but I just think, and appeal to the platform. You don't show cat videos on LinkedIn, right? Because it's not the right platform for it. I know some people do, right? And they get a lot of followers, but hey, right? Yeah, that's not what the platform's for. Instagram's all about pictures. Well, they have reels now, but TikTok is all about videos and entertainment. So make it all about that. Anna, thanks very much. Great tips. Well, I try and please. You're a social media person, so it's a big compliment for you to say that. Thank you very much. Right. Well, do you know what? I've talked more about TikTok today than I thought I would. I hope you found it, like Anna has, useful. If you've got any topics that you'd like me to discuss, why don't you let me know? I have got the next couple of months planned out, but thinking of all of these subjects, it does tax me sometimes. So you let me know what you want. You've got my WhatsApp there. Send me an inappropriate GIF and let me know what subject you'd like me to discuss. So until next time, thank you indeed for watching and taking part. Ta-ta for now. Thank you so much indeed for listening to this bite-sized podcast. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can email me on miles@milesmarketing, all one word, .co.uk. Or why don't you send me an inappropriate GIF? You can do that on WhatsApp. It's +44 754 069 5785. And however you get in touch, please do let me know what you think of the podcast. Let me know if you put any of these tips into action and what the outcome was. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.